So if you decided that you're already ready for your decision, the sixth step will be acting upon choices. Acting upon choices.
Then
So
the
from the word
family of the
itself,
groom
a value is acted
visits the
upon,
house of the
performed,
bride.
carried out, and then it influences a person's behavior in some way. Thus, whatever the person does will always reflect to his or her values. So now is your time to work for your plan. Whatever you have planned in from aspect one, process one until the fifth process, now you have to work your plan. Time for you to live and stand for your choice and decision. Be brave. Plan your work and then work your plan. That will be number six. And last one, after the sixth process is the repeating. When we say repeating, values are acted on repeatedly and become a pattern of life. A value tends to permeate and influence all aspects of one's life. So since you already ready for it, you're already acting upon choices now. Act repeatedly to affirm the choice publicly. You do it with the same energy, the same motivation, and excitement. Thus, the key word here is consistency. You have to be consistent because there are times we lose our motivation, our energy, then the problems will come in between. But don't let this stop you. It is stated in number seven, you have to act repeatedly because later on, your consistency of your hard works will always have a fruitful result. You have to consistently and make it a habit. So these are the seven process in valuing process. So without um, if one is missing in the seven process, your decision will not be considered valuable. The seven steps should be present because if one of this is missing, for example, you're number five. Most of us we make decisions, but our number five is not achieved, which is the one we were willing to affirm it publicly. Most of our decisions, sometimes we are embarrassed of it. So it means decision you have made, there's something missing on it. It's not complete. There's no value on it. So whenever each of us will make a decision, these seven process are very important. So I'll just have to recap. First, we have to choose freely. After we choose freely, we have to choose from alternatives. After we choose from alternatives, then we have to weigh down the consequences. And after we weigh down the consequences, it's time for us to be happy with the choices we have made. And after that, the prizing and cherishing, then this is the time that we should ask ourselves if we are willing to affirm our choice publicly. And after this, we act our plan. This is the acting upon choices. And the last one will be the repeating, the consistency of our values rather. So after the valuing process, I also will discuss about the value indicators. So value indicators are expressions or behaviors that are promising areas, verifying because they are headed toward values, but they have not yet arrived. So value indicators are very important for us educators because this is our way to listen to our students' expressions. So this is this will help us understand our students more. So first, value indicator is the expression of purpose or aims. So when a student says that he or she intends to do something or that he or she has a goal, it is an opportunity for teacher to ask if that was something he or she prized or she had really chosen or had sought for some time. So as teachers, we hear always our students expressing on of their purpose or aims, so their goals. So it is very important that we will ask our students Is there their choice if they choose this freely, or maybe their parents just choose this for them. But and also if they are happy, it's okay. If, like, for example, for kids primary, of course it's the parents will decision, but we have to ask them if they are happy. Are they happy with that? So that's the first value indicators. After the first value indicator, we have number two, aspirations. So somewhat similar with number one, which is the purpose or aims. Aspirations. Aspirations are remote purpose or aims. And then using the values clarification, teachers can help students examine their aspirations to see if they meet the criteria of a value. So the value that I was mentioning a while ago in the seven process. So after aspirations, the third value indicator is attitudes. When a student displays views about current issues, teachers can ask how deeply the attitude is felt, what prompted the attitude, and what activities it suggests. So most of the time, we can feel what our students are feeling at the moment. So we can feel if they're mad or they're happy, they're sad, they're kind, their attitudes. There are different attitudes that we are having because there are diversity of learners inside our class. So it is important that we should ask our students on why they are like that, or what are the reasons behind their attitudes, or every actions that they are doing inside the class. There always a story behind it. So that's the third value indicators. After the third one, the fourth one is interest. Students' interest can be temporary and short term. Teachers can assist students to analyze their interest through the value clarification procedures as they become more owned rather than simply enacted. So, in this value indicators, this is the time where we openly talk to our students on what are their interests in life. So, this is the time we can guide them if their interests are aligned with the values that I was discussing a while ago, the seven valuing process. So that's number four. After the interest, we have the feelings. So I've mentioned already the feelings a while ago in the attitude. So feelings is as a construct almost suggests a non-cognitive reaction to an event, a question, or an issue. Clarification approach suggests teachers will you have to prompt the student to think about his or her feelings, asking about their source and their consequences. So the valuing process also comes in here in asking for the feelings, asking for their source and for the consequences. So after the feelings, we also have activities. When a student becomes engaged in activities, it is appropriate to ask him or her if there are alternatives to consider or whether it was really chosen. So, but most of the time, we teachers will give activities to our students, only one activities, but it is important that there should be variety of activities that our students will also have the chance to choose freely on what activities are they inclined to. So, activities. After activities, the eighth value indicator is all about worries, problems, and obstacles. So this will be the last value indicator. So this category of indicators suggests that the student's reactions are informed, the possible approaches the student might take or ill-formed, and the value clarifications prompts can move students to firmer plans and actions. So in other words, the expressions or behavioral signal an area that might serve as a rich area for values development. So when a student mentions engaging in a hobby, the teacher can explore through values clarifying dialogue whether or not engaging in the hobby is freely chosen, a pattern chosen from among relatives, and so on. So this is the last one. This one is all about clarifying the students on the actions that the students have planned to. So the values